Why your cat sleeps with you. What they're really saying. Your cat sleeps with you every night. You've probably smiled at it, maybe even taken a photo. But here's what most owners never realize. That simple act carries more emotional weight than almost anything else your cat does. And if you've been misreading it, they've been sending you messages for years that you've been missing entirely. Let's break down what's actually happening. 1. It was never about warmth. Here's the most common assumption people make. Cats sleep with us because we're warm. And sure, that tracks. Cats love heat. But think about it for a second. Your cat has endless warm options. A sun-drenched windowsill, the top of the cable box, a pile of freshly washed laundry still hot from the dryer. If warmth was the goal, you wouldn't even make the short list. So why do they keep picking you? Because sleep isn't just rest for a cat, it's vulnerability. Every survival instinct hardwired into them says, find somewhere hidden, stay low, stay safe. And instead of doing that, your cat walks right past every quiet corner, every cozy nook in your home, and climbs into bed next to a creature 10 or 15 times their size. That's not comfort seeking. That's trust. Deep, deliberate, chosen trust. Research in animal cognition has actually shown that cats form attachment bonds with their owners that closely mirror how human infants attach to their caregivers. When your cat settles in beside you at night, they're communicating something they have no other way to say. You are safe. I am safe with you. One more thing. If your cat suddenly stops sleeping with you after months or years of doing it, pay attention. We'll come back to that at the end, and it matters more than most people think. 2. They're merging their scent with yours. Before your cat fully settles in at night, you've probably noticed them pressing their head or the side of their face against you. Most people think it's affection. It is, but it's also something far more intentional. Cats have scent glands tucked along their cheeks, forehead, and the base of their tail. When they rub against you, they're depositing invisible markers. But here's the part that gets overlooked. When your cat sleeps pressed against you night after night, they're not just marking you. They're blending your scents together. In the wild, cats who share a colony develop a communal scent. It's how they recognize each other. It's how they communicate family without a single sound. When your cat weaves their smell into yours every single night, they're performing an ancient, instinctive ritual. They're telling themselves, and any other creature paying attention, that you belong to each other. This is also why your cat might sniff you intensely when you walk in after being somewhere new. You smell different. You've lost some of what they built. And part of that evening cuddle? It's them quietly restoring what got washed away. 3. They think they're protecting you. Take a look at where exactly your cat sleeps. Near your head? By your feet? Pressed against your back? Facing the door? That placement is not random. It's strategic. Even the most pampered, domesticated house cat is still running ancient predator software. And predators think in terms of threats, entry points, and who to protect. When your cat positions themselves at the foot of the bed or near the bedroom door, part of them believes they are standing watch. This goes back thousands of years. In wild cat colonies, group members would take turns staying alert while others slept. It wasn't just social bonding, it was survival. And your cat, no matter how many years removed from the wild, hasn't lost that instinct. Will your cat actually fend off an intruder? Realistically, no. But in their mind, they've taken a post. They've claimed a role. And every night, without fail, they show up for it. 4. Every position is a different message. The way your cat sleeps tells you exactly how they're feeling. And once you know what to look for, it's like having a conversation. The tight curl, paws tucked in, tail wrapped around their body, is the most guarded position. Your cat feels safe enough to be near you, but they're keeping a small layer of protection around themselves. Trust with just a hint of caution still present. The full sprawl, legs out, maybe even belly up, is the opposite. That's your cat saying they feel completely, utterly safe. Exposing the stomach is one of the most vulnerable things a cat can do. If they're doing it in your presence, you've earned something real. The turned back might feel like rejection. It isn't. In the cat world, turning your back to someone is a sign of confidence in them. It means you trust them so completely that you don't need to keep an eye on them. It's actually a quiet compliment. And then there's the full contact press, your cat wedged against you, taking up as little space as possible just to be as close as possible. That's not neediness, that's devotion in its most physical form. 5. They've rewired their internal clock for you. Have you ever noticed your cat winding down when you go to bed and stirring when you start your morning? That's not coincidence. That's a deliberate, ongoing adjustment they make for you. Cats are naturally crepuscular, meaning their biology is wired for peak activity at dawn and dusk. Those are the windows their wild ancestors hunted in. Their instincts say, be alert at twilight, not midnight. And yet, bonded cats override that. Studies on domestic cats found they gradually shift their active hours to align with their owners, staying calmer during the day, sleeping more deeply at night. Not because it's natural for them, because it's when you're there. Your cat's internal rhythm, something evolution spent thousands of years building, gets quietly rewritten just to keep them in sync with your life. That's why they're waiting at the door when you get home. That's why they appear a few minutes before your alarm sounds. They've learned your pattern, and they've chosen to live inside it. 6. They feel your stress. Before you've named it, ever come home after a brutal day, not said a word to anyone, and suddenly your cat is glued to your side? They knew. Before you sat down, before you let out a sigh, they already knew. Cats bonded with their owners are remarkably tuned in to emotional shifts. And science is finally catching up to what cat people have always felt intuitively. Research shows cats can detect subtle changes in human behavior, body language, and even the chemical signals our bodies release. When stress hormones rise, when your movements tighten, when your breathing changes, your cat registers all of it. They can't interpret why something is wrong, but they know something is. Which is why cats so often become more attentive when their person is sick, anxious, or going through something painful. They're not just being sweet, they're responding to real, detectable signals. And sleeping beside you every night gives them an ongoing data set. Your resting heart rate, your normal breathing, your baseline. When something shifts, even subtly, they're the first to notice. 7. When they suddenly stop, listen. So what does it mean when a cat who has slept with you for years suddenly wants nothing to do with your bedroom? Don't brush it off as a mood. Cats are creatures of habit. When they break a significant one, there's a reason. Sometimes it's physical. Pain or illness often causes cats to withdraw and seek solitude. It's an old survival instinct. Hide weakness so predators can't find it. If your older cat suddenly starts sleeping alone, a vet visit is worth taking seriously. Sometimes it's environmental. A new pet, a new person, a rearranged room. What feels like a small change to you can feel like a disruption to your cat's entire sense of territory and safety. And sometimes it's emotional. Cats remember negative experiences tied to specific spaces. If something frightened them in that room, or if there was conflict near that space, they may quietly pull away to protect themselves. Here's what matters. Your cat chose to sleep beside you because you had earned their complete trust. If that changes, they're not being difficult. They're communicating. Your job is to pay attention, to watch, to look for what shifted, and if needed, to gently rebuild the safety that made that nightly ritual possible in the first place. Because to your cat, it was never just sleeping next to someone. It was choosing, every single night, the one place in the world where they felt safe enough to close their eyes.